Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Casting My Climb, episode number 17. Yeah, 17, I think 17. Yep. So, what are we going to go over today? So, let's look at the teams for now. Yes, it's 17. So, the lineup for the blue team is going to be Mordecai's in the top lane. Warwick is the jungler. Yon the mid laner. Ash the bot carry. And Lux is the support. On the red team, we have Yurik in the top lane. Malphite is going to be in the jungle. Mid lane is the Vex. Molder the bot carry. And Poppy the support. So, if you look at the runes, really anything unusual on either side, really. Lux goes for the Dark Harvest there. Can kind of happen out, but it's not really like a big one. And the Vex are threatening deep in there and just getting it up there. Pretty much about that one. It takes a bit of damage there. All is good about this one. And to point it out, in this game, I am the Smolder. So, yeah, this one goes completely about it right now. Quite heavy play about that one. Both sides just exchanging their blows, kind of in a way. Not really much about this. Can become more rougher later on, but right now it's just kind of like the thing. You got the Lux who's creating pressure there. Probably can't really do much to answer this pressure right now. Ash is going pretty heavy as there as well. Kind of what you get to see about that one. Ash is a bit in the back foot now, but that's really on level 2. It's not really much about this one. Level 1 at least. And York gets a few slaps in on the Mordekaiser. He doesn't really like that. That's just how the game will start off here really right now. 2 stacks being picked up there for the Smolder as well, which is a big part about this right now. Smolder needs to get some X here. Lux looking for something, not really getting anything out of that one, but just walking away. Morty gets a pull in there, but has to take quite a bit of damage there as well, so it's like an even kind of setup right now. There's a slow push being set up here. However, right now there is the wraparound. Vex is going pretty far forward. Warwick is looking for the wraparound here, and they are chasing Vex into the river there. Vex is still alive here. Yoden is not looking good with the HP pool. Has to dodge one of those. Vex needs to flash up because the shield up for the fear, and looks like that's going to be it to really threatens the Vex there. And Warwick is making a friend with the Yon already. That's what we saw there as well. Picking up a few minions on the wave as well. Not really how you make friends, Warwick, as a jungler. I just realized, what the hell is the... I'm just saw the Ash starting point, and I'm like, what the hell? So Ash started with a tomb, and that's not a good start for an Ash. Not at all. Honestly, no, not at all, because having that amplifying tome there is not a good place to be in, really, if you're an Ash. You're not getting really much pressure on your opponent with that one. Let's be honest about it. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes around there. Warwick and Mordecai's extending a few blows, but not really much about that. Malphite going for the mid lane gang. Oh, Ash is taking quite a bit of damage. Has a flash over there. Gets knocked to the wall by Poppy, and first blood is handled by the Poppy here. And that's not going to be a good point if you are Ash here. So basically, the tomb got bought. The amplifying tome got bought to pick up just the static shift. If I would guess right now, would be the item I would say. Which I'm not too sure is a good starting item for the Ash. Really not too sure about that one. Ash takes the stack there as well, so the Smolder is in a great spot right now with the stacks. Just keeping on rolling with it. Kind of how you want to handle this, really. Looks trying to create some pressure onto the Smolder, just trying to do what you can, and they both take another hit there, so it's another stack. Tower Shot takes Yon almost down there, but not really much about it. And right now, Poppy and Smolder have done their damage, really, so they don't have to really worry about that one. York gets in top of that one, forces the flash out of the Mordekaiser and walks away. So really not a great spot to be in here if you are on the blue team. You're a bit more than 1,000 gold already behind, which is not a good spot to be in. And about 5 minutes 20 here. But you only gave one kill up yet, so it's kind of like fine at the same time. A lot of damage being put onto the Poppy, but the Poppy's almost 1v1ing the Ashe here. Ashe tries to find a way out of this one and burns down to the Poppy without any way to fight that whatsoever. Poppy just 1v2'd there and decide, you know what? This is my game. And I can respect that. Poppy just decided she wanted to win that game, and she won that fight, and she won it. Malphite is on the Drake. However, there is some wraparound coming away here, so there should be some support coming in as well. Poppy's coming around there. Molder's kind of just trying to clear the way off here. Warwick is coming around here, just looking for some opportunity there. Gets a good bite out of Malphite. Good biting there, and that's a dead one. And I don't really know if Poppy can find a way out of this one completely. Vex comes in from the side, tries to get some pressure on top of that one as well. Smite comes out of there. Smolder gets rooted up there. And a lot of damage being put on top of there. Ashe is trying to fight off the Poppy. I don't know why you would want to do that. Flash over there from that one. Root onto the Smolder. Smolder does take down the Warwick, but dies as well. Vex trying to find a way out of this one. And looks like Vex just survives, barely. 2-3. About 1,000 gold lead still for the red team here, however. Yamad has been bought by the Warwick. Not really much to be done about this one. And Warwick did get the Drake. Had to trade his life for that one, though. And that's going to be an interesting situation. Shadow Realm is being popped here right now. A lot of damage being put onto the Mordekaiser, but Yorick is not falling as much I think Mordekaiser was expecting him to fall, and now he's exhausted as well. Mordekaiser has to pull the whole book out of it right now just to get out of this one. And barely survives. This is not the position you want to be in if you are right now the Yorick. Well, I mean, he's kind of in a great position now, to be honest about that one. Probably rather the position you don't want to be in if you're the Mordekaiser, because you are taking a beating right now. It's Warwick looking for another pickoff here. Vex does not get feared there and gets knocked up, and that's a finisher right there. That was a bit too much there. And Malphite ults in there, takes down the Yon. Yorick is in a bad spot. It's getting killed off as well. It's a bit of a rough situation, and 4-4 is the score right now, and I'm not too sure. Part of me is like, I don't know. You can ping the Malphite for stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, can you really blame him for these problems that happened there? Not really, I would say in my perspective, but maybe I have a different perspective than other people, to be honest. However, Poppy once again gets on top of the Ashe. Ashe is dropping pretty low. Mom comes in there. Poppy flashes and takes that kill. Oh, this Poppy's just a murder spree walking on. Ashe died 3 times. And Poppy has been picking up the scraps of this Ashe. Blue team once again gets an objective with the 3 Void Groups in this one, so they're not playing ideal, but they're getting a lot out of these moments right now, so it's like an interesting situation, to be honest, about this whole thing. A lot. So about a 1,500 gold lead in favor of the red team right now, with 1 kill lead, while the blue team has 4 on the board right now. Almost 10 minutes into the game, and It's looking pretty interesting how this one develops out of this. How this one develops further. X is not looking bad. Poppy's looking amazing right now. Thing is, Poppy needs to start handing over kills to the bot carry, otherwise this could get really rough this game. It is doable. Oh, Vex kills for the ult there, and Warwick goes for his ult as well, but he doesn't survive that one. Warwick comes in with his ult as well. Picks up the Vex. Malphite now has the Malignance, and it's a kind of one for one trade. Yorick doesn't really have a chance there. Flashes over there, gets slapped down, dead in the waters. 6-6. And the Ashe is just taking so many hits. I think we're what is the smolder at? We can see. Can we see the stacks here? 70 already, so it's like a fine position to be in, to be honest. About 10 minutes. They want the arrow on the smolder. Going to be a very interesting situation to play around here right now. Work comes in from the backside. Poppy once again charges in there. Malphite comes in with an ult. Lux immediately gets blown up. And now Warwick comes in there, gets on top of the Smolder. Does a lot of damage there. Can Smolder find a way out of this one? Slowly burns down there. Gets a hit out of there. And Smolder gets to live. Well, Warwick bites the dust, and Lux is not happy about the situation. Uber's pick up on the Smolder now, so quite a bit of an aggressive playstyle there. Drake is up, but Smolder couldn't really be close by. Poppy's going around the mid lane, creating some more pressure, to be honest, about this whole situation. Smolder is going to come around to the Drake. The Drake is in works right now, so that's something to keep in mind still. It is a Cloud, so all good. Cloud Drake goes over to the red team. We're going to have Chemtech as the soul in this game. Interesting perspective to go around there. Lux just ults the Poppy, and honestly the Poppy doesn't really care that much about that. Shadow Realm fight here right now between the Mordekaiser and the Yorick. Yorick is dropping pretty low, gets pulled in and doesn't manage to get out of that one, and Mordekaiser picks up another kill. This is going to be a pretty rough situation, I would say, right now. The Mordekaiser could become a problem for the Smolder later on. Gotta kind of watch how this one develops further here. Lux has kind of decided not to be on the bot lane anymore, but Poppy as well, so it's only the bot carries on this lane anymore. And now Rallies has been picked up by the Mordekaiser Trinity Force for the Yorick, so Yorick is not going the lethality build. That could actually benefit Yorick, to be honest, in this game. Everything that's happening, you can go into more tank items and you can create something for your guys. Poppy gets on top of the Yone there, does have to bite the dust there. Mordekaiser is even here now as well, so Vex has to trade one out of there. Final Spark comes out of there, and Lux picks up the Vex. Not the person you really want to see the pickup. So Poppy is going for a Ghost Blade. Very interesting situation. Has the Swiftness boost as well, so Loon's Echo on the Vex as well. And I know probably some people are wondering. I decided to go with a Gluttonous Greaves. I feel like that could be a good pickup on Smolder, but I kind of just want to try it out in that case as well. Lux tries to get on top of there, managed to flash away there. However, Mordekaiser has to go on against two right now and is taking the beating. He has to flash over the wall and gets to safety. Yeah, Malphite did cost both flashes. Lux had to flash not to get ulted by Malphite, and then Mordekaiser had to flash not to die in that fight. Lux picked up the Loon's Echo, so another item advantage on that blue team. But the problem is it's quite dead even right now, the gold. We're 9-9 right now, about 14-30 on the board. And it's maybe a 300 gold lead right now. Maybe. Max. Ashe picks up the Static Shiv. Warwick finds Malphite. There's the Lux ult as well, so they're trying to put some more pressure on there. Lux gets on top of the binding there. Warwick picks up a kill. They're gonna go for the Rift Herald, so that's gonna be the next opportunity here. And Ashe has now moved into the mid lane as well, so that's a bit of an interesting thought process, to be completely honest about everything right now. Meanwhile, looks like they're gonna trade the Rift Herald. They're gonna trade the Rift Herald for the first turret, so I'm not too sure if that's really the trade you want to take up on this situation. You do get probably a free turret. That's not a question about that one. Ashe dropped pretty low on that one. The Maiden is in danger. Is going to be taken down there. Popping me the Rift Herald on the top side. But I'm not too sure if you really want to do it that way because, well, upside was half pushed in there. Final Spark comes out of there. Yorick goes pretty far down. Warwick looking for the charge in there as well. Vex gets pressured quite a bit by the Yone, and Yorick is holding on for dear life here right now under the tower, and they can't seem to find a way to dive the tower. That's a bit surprising from this blue team. Oh, Ashe is in a bad spot. Vex gets on top of that one, and then Poppy takes down the Yone, so Ashe and Yone are both down. Malphite is down in a horrible situation. Gets jumped by the Warwick. There are a lot of damage being put on top of the Warwick, and right now, oh, binding onto the Yorick. Yorick drops low and goes down. And Lux takes quite a bit of damage there, but it's not really much about that when Final Spark comes out of there. Poppy's looking for a wraparound, comes down from the side. There is now the death round from the Mordecai. Gets knocked into the tower and goes down to the Poppy there. So not a good fight there, Malphite does die to the Warwick, but they did trade 2 out of that one in the later fight. It's kind of a 2 for 2 trade, but a very delayed 2 for 2 trade. DP comes in there from the Vex. No, Yorick actually. Charge in on the wall for the Warwick. Warwick is not in a good position though. He tries to get over there. Yorick gets on top of him, knocks him down, and that's a kill for the Yorick. 12-14, 7-10 on the board. And we're closing in on a 2,000 gold lead right now for this red team. Blade of the Rune King now up for the Warwick. Essence Reaver for the Smolder already. Big item pickup here. Yone goes for the Blade of the Rune King as well. Yone, that's his first item actually in this game. Not a good position to be in. Yorick is finding a way out of this. So it goes Blade down up for the Poppy. Poppy has been going for other things, and Yorick actually managed to deny himself. That is not a good thing. Yone goes in for the old and Vex lives through that one. Looks looking for something. Final Spark misses completely there. Warwick looking for some blood here. No opportunity to get out of that one. Poppy's now in a bad spot. Gets pulled in on the side and taken out. There's still arrow hits the Smolder, and now it's going to be a very interesting situation. A lot of vision is being unveiled there. Great ult from the Malphite. Gets on top of the Lux there. Mom comes in there as well, so a lot of damage being put on top of there. But not enough to really finish the job here. Very unfortunate for the Smolder here, however. It's going to be an interesting situation. 2 only alive right now on this red team. And red team, wisely enough, pretty much want to drop this one. Ashe takes a lot of damage there from the Smolder. And Ashe just dies there. That was weird. Went for the tower and then just decided I'm going to die here anyway. So, the Ashe, I'm not too sure what the second item is going to be actually for the Ashe right now in this game, because you can't really see much about that one really for the situation, because you see it could be the Hex Opt, it could be a Runon's Hurricane. It's kind of questionable what it could be right now. Lux gets a biting onto Malphite. They ult that one as well. Yone goes for the blood there and immediately takes him out of this one. Binding on top of the Smolder gets put into the Death Realm, so this is going to be not a great spot to be in, and Smolder goes down. Poppy comes in there, Vex ult comes through there, that's a dead Mordekaiser, but it cost him the Poppy as well. Great flash from the Vex there to dodge the Yon ult. Dodges the binding as well, but a lot of damage has been already put on top of the Vexes. Trying to walk up ahead, and Yon is looking for an opportunity there. Gets feared away there, and looks like Vex just gets to live. Vex takes the blast cone as well, and that makes it completely sure that Vex lives through this one. Yorick is just pushing in the top side, takes the tier 2 turret out of this one as well. Blue team are right now in the gold lead, which is a bit of a surprising one if we look at how it kind of develops out of that one. It's basically off of the jungle play right now. Malphite goes in for an ult there. No opportunity for the Ashe to get away from that one, and Poppy picks up another kill. As I said, maybe the Poppy should not be picking up all these kills. Maybe. Breaker for the Yorick, so he's going to commit to the split push build. Makes quite a bit of sense, to be honest, about that one. Goes play pop by the Poppy. He's looking for an opportunity there. Gets a charge in onto the Mordekaiser, and they're trying to get something out of this one. Mord is dropping quite heavily. He doesn't have much really in the case of MR and everything. Let's check in how far is Smolder with the stacks. Did I see 160? Could be better, could be worse, honestly, right now. That's how I would look at the situation. Shadow Flame now for the Vex on the second item here. Ult on the Malphite. Final Spark as well, and that's a dead Malphite. Poppy comes in from the side, gets on top of the Lux there. However, can't really do much about that one. Has flash away there. Yorick is looking for an opportunity to wrap around the situation. Poppy is going to keep on moving here, and this could become an opportunity here. Slow onto the Lux. Lux is now being put into that cage. Ult from the Vex on top of him as well. Will they go for another one? Did that hit the Warwick? No, it didn't hit the Warwick there. So Warwick gets to walk away from all the chaos right now. Storm Surge for the Lux. Lux has more items than the Ashe right now. Pretty rough situation, and it looks like that the Ashe is going for a secondary item, Hex Optics. I'm really not sure if that's a choice you really want to take if you are an Ashe player, to be honest. Alright, that's kind of the situation about this one. Smolder wants the stacks there. And a lot of pressure is going to be put onto this blue team right now. They're trying to hold up as much as they can. We do have the Warwick trying to find a flank here. Not really working out because the Mole red team are turning around to push him away from the situation. Not the best opportunity right now. A lot of blood is being good. Yon does get the knock up there, but not really much can follow. They can follow up from that one. And Smolder sitting here quite nicely. Sick Drake is going to be the next Drake. That's going to be Chemtech Drake is going to be up there. That cage unfortunately didn't catch anyone. I think otherwise that would have been a pickup immediately here. A lot of pushing here from the blue team. They are slightly in the lead by 200. Not really much about that one. 20 seconds till Drake. That could be a big opportunity to play around this one right now. 3 on the top side. What will do? Last Whisper picked up by the Smolder. Deadman's played for the Poppy. Poppy ult knocks the Lux away, so there could be an opportunity to do something about this one. Good stun there from the Poppy on top of the Warwick. Warwick's trying to do what he can here, really. Mordekaiser is coming around here once again. Put the Poppy into the death realm, so Poppy's out of this play right now. Fear on the Warwick. Takes quite a bit of damage. Goes for the ult there. Poppies get on top of the Mordekaiser once again. Mordekaiser is dropping pretty low here. Goes down for this one. Warwick is trying to find a situation. Mom comes in there, trying to do as much damage as he can. Warwick tries to find a way out of this one, but bites the dust here right now. A lot of damage being put on there. Yon misses completely with his ultimate there. Gets put into the cage there. Yon falls to the Smolder. Lux and Smolder are the lone survivors from this fight, and Smolder decides, you know what? I've got what I wanted out of this one. I'm going to walk away. Meanwhile, Malphite soloed the Drake. Spark misses completely. Runan's Hurricane was the second item. Static Shiv and a Runan's Hurricane. What the hell is this build from the Ashe? Does no damage and wants the AoE. Does nothing. Meanwhile, Smolder picks up Lord Dominic's Regard. Leandri's on the Mordekaiser as well. So we have probably a moment, so let's look at the items. So we have Mordekaiser with Leandri's, Rallies, and Plate Steel Caps. Yorick, on the other hand, has a Trinity Force and Hullbreaker with the Swiftness boost. The Warwick picked up already a Blade of the Rune King, a Thorn Mail, and Stride Break, as well as the Swiftness boots. On Malphite's side, we got the Storm Surge and the Malignance, as well as the Sorcerer's Shoes. Yon walks around right now with the Blade of the Rune King, Shield Bow, and the Gunmetal Greaves. Vex rocks the lovely, lovely Luden's Echo, Shadow Flame, and some Spellslinger shoes. Ash, with the weirdest build ever, let's be honest about that one, has a Static Shift and a Rune's Hurricane, so only attack speed, no damage really in there. While Smolder has the Hubris, Essence Reaver, and a low Dominic's Regard, so you're going to have a big problem fighting off the Smolder, who can probably burn through you. Let's look at the stacks for a moment as well. 200 already, so this is going to be a very, very rough situation. We got then the Lux here with the Storm Surge, with the Luden's Echo, versus the Poppy with the Dead Man's Play, the Human's Ghost Blade, and this camera is a bit weird. Yorick goes down there to the Warwick. Lux is in a bad situation there, gets knocked up there, but Poppy can't follow the finish off there. Looking for an opportunity there, but Ash puts the Poppy down. Vix decides to walk away from this whole situation, but Warwick, maybe Warwick's going to go for more blood. We're not too sure completely about this one. And we're 26-45 into this match with a 24-22 lead for the blue team and about a 1,000 gold lead for the blue team as well. So it's gonna become quite interesting how this one develops. For the Baron is on the board right now, and it looks like the Baron is gonna be a big opportunity for this blue team to find some more room to really play about this one. Easy Baron pickup for the blue team as well. So red is not in favorable situation right now. The lead is growing almost to 2,000 right now. I gotta be honest, right now I would say the red team just need a decent big team fight. Right now would be like my vision of this whole right now. I can kind of win this match right now. However, another part is you kind of have to try to play around the Smolder, who should be very, very close to hitting the 225. Yep. And it's getting closer and closer, and that's going to be a big opportunity right now. They're looking for a push on the mid lane. Smolder is picking up as much as you can. Poppy gets on top of it, gets pulled in there. Immediately, Ash is blown up there. Mordekaiser does get to the death realm right now, pushes some pressure onto the Malzahar, who goes down for this one. However, he has to pay the price for this one. A double kill for the Vex. 2-for-1 trade right now, and that's really something the red team can take benefit from. Warwick and Yon are looking for a situation to hold against this one. Poppy is pretty far away, so that could be a very dangerous situation about this one. Drake is up in about 20 seconds left there, and a lot of pushes coming out of this one. Yorick is pulling in the chickens right now. Not a situation you really want to be in if you're that one. He comes around there trying to get some more pressure on top of him. Gets the Yorick. That's a bit of a surprising one. Meanwhile, Yorick has to ult away not to be taken out of this one completely. That's going to be another situation you got to keep an eye out for if you are this blue team. You're not looking bad. The problem at the same time is you're not getting the real good team fights. You kind of have to trade out, but the problem is you don't really want to trade out this much as you've been doing in this game, really. So a lot of So that's the third Drake. Will it go over to the red team, or will the blue team find something to get in there? Let's get in there. Final spark there. Takes a lot of damage there. That's a dead Malphite. This is an opportunity there. Meanwhile, Mortar did ult the Vex there. Takes hit Vex down. So that's a pickup there. However, Vex does now have Zonias, and Soul Point is in red team's favor. The lead is about 4,000 golds right now for the blue team, so that could be another play that they want to keep an eye out for. However, they have to be careful how they play this one out. There are a few players they don't want to have living during the team fights right now, and one of them, for example, is the Smolder there. Oh, and that's a dead Poppy there. It's hit by the binding crystal arrow, and no chance for her to get out of there. I mean, the other part I would say right now about the Poppy is she doesn't really have that much magic resist, which could cost dearly. Death cap on the Lux. That is not an item you want to see on a Lux playing against you right now. However, it is what it is. You got to play around it now. Oh, there comes the Malphite, goes in completely to obliterates the Ashe. Mordecai has to look what happened there. Lux takes quite a bit of damage. Binding comes out of there. Smolder goes on top of that Lux. There is Mud as well. And Smolder's kind of fine with this situation right now. He's taking quite a bit of damage, but he can't really do much about that one. Mordekaiser's looking for another opportunity. Why did Vex actually hit that one? Mordekaiser does go down there completely in this situation, and that's one down. He could find some more opportunity because a lot of them are not that high in HP pool right now. However, this is really the problem that the blue team have. They can kind of find picks on some fights, but they have the issue that while they do find the picks, they can't really do much against it. You can see that going on there. That's probably going to be a pick off here. Crystal Arrow misses completely. Jack Show is now picked up by the Warwick, so he's going to go a bit more in the tank situation here right now. A lot of damage been put on there. Ashe flashes forward. Does look like she's going to take down the Vex because she has no opportunity to get out of there. Big push up here from this blue team right now. They're closing in on 5,000 gold right now at 3230 right now. But their biggest problem right now is still they need to get on top of specific targets. For example, the Smolder is should not be allowed to really play out whatever you want to do in this game. Because Smolder has the stacks for the execute already. And if you play your cards really badly, you get taken out of there. One Lux, once again, with a good binding there, hits the ult immediately as well. Nobody falls. This is going to be a really, really tough situation about this one. We do have 2 minutes left still till the next Drake, so that's going to be an opportunity to be played around here. Poppy looking for a pick-off here, however, just walks on a ward, and you see them immediately backing away. They know this could become really rough here. Mordekaiser is going for Baron once again, so that's another opportunity there. However, there's a heavy push from the red team in there. They have to disconnect completely from this Baron, otherwise they would have been dead. Malphite gets on top of Yon. Yon should be gone for this one. A lot of pressure being put out there. Mordekaiser goes to the Death Realm, comes into the back line thanks to that one. A lot of damage being put on top of their Vex comes as win as well, and execution onto the Mordekaiser. Infinity Edge for the Yon. Ashe and Warwick are just mindlessly pushing. I don't know why they're mindlessly pushing, but they're mindlessly pushing. And now the Smolder and the Reorc are doing something about this one. Poppy gets quite a bit of damage in here. I feel like Poppy's missing a great item. For example, I would say a Thornmail. Oh, this is not looking good. Vex is in a bad spot here right now. Gets pressured by the Ashe. How the frick does she lose to the Ashe? Baron goes down. So recalls are going to come in there. Now they Now the rest of the blue team have to get out of there, otherwise they are probably goners if something goes completely wrong. Warwick takes a lot of damage there from the smolder, not what you really want to see out of this one. Chemtech Drake is up. This is now the fight that the blue team need to take. That's kind of the issue really right now. Blue has to take this one. There is the blast cone. Now thanks to that one, Poppy's pretty far forward. However, the Ashe is immediately taken out of this game. Pushes in there. Mom comes in there. Gives Smolder quite a bit of damage. Warwick is dropping pretty low to this one. Burn immediately up through the execute. Yo gets on top of the Smolder. Smolder has no chance to survive this one. And Malphite is the sole survivor right now. Problem is that I'm not too sure you can really do much against that one. Vex is now back on the board. So you could maybe go for a seal. Malphite looking what you can do, really gets pulled into the death realm. This is now a situation that could become really interesting. Malphite goes down, doesn't have any other opportunities, so we're 3 drakes each. Bit more than 4,000 gold right now for the blue team with 5 kills ahead, while the red team have 31 on the board. Not really a situation you want to be in. Infinity Edge is done on the Smolder, so that's going to be a lot more damage being put out here. However, Seeker's Arm Guard now on the Mordekaiser. This could get really interesting now with the Seeker's Arm Guard there as well. It could go veritable in that death realm. They're going to look for a push here right now. The blue team want to finish this one off. I think they are pretty sure that they're in a good position. Yorick just walks out of there, gets taken out there. What the hell? A lot of damage is on top of that one as well. Smolder is holding on as much as you can right now. Play is going to be in a very interesting situation how this one develops further and further here. Push is going to be looked here. Ashe gets jumped in the backline by the Vex, immediately gets out of there. That disrupts the play pretty heavily for this blue team. You have to be very careful. Ashe now pulls up the Bloodthirster, but honestly, what are you going to do here, really? Warwick looking for something here. Poppy's holding on as much as you really want to hold on if you are in the blue team. The lead is about a bit more than 3,000 gold, which is kind of an interesting situation. They have to find, the blue team have to find a way to open up a fight, because if you go, I think if you go straight for straight there, okay, there's the jump. Like gets into the backside. Mom comes through there. Look, Lux goes down. That's Realm being pulled out by the Mordecai, so that's one of them down. Mordecai gets in there, takes quite a bit of damage. Warwick sitting around you as well. Takes a hit as well. Good Q there as well. That's the ult away there. Mordecai takes another Q. Ult there from the Vex. He's dropping pretty low. Goes down. We do have one Nexus turret still left right now. There's the Yone trying to find an escape there. Manages, looks like, to do this one. However, he's not looking too great with this now. The red team are stabilizing this fight a bit more. Warwick is looking for an opportunity there. Gets knocked away there. Gets on top of their tower shot. Comes in there. Warwick's dropping pretty low. Gets executed. Yone does win the fight versus the Yorick there. Ashe was there as well, so that's something. And now we're in a very interesting situation. Vex has now picked up a Void Staff, so Vex is almost full build. Smolder is closing in on the full build as well. And the stacks are going to ramp up. The Smolder has 320, and now Smolder even picks up the Guardian Angel, which is a perfect pickup, honestly, with how this game's developing. The lead has been melting down now to a bit over 1,000, but it's still going down there. He has Grutch there for the Yorick, and as you can see, really, this play is going to come around probably the next one. Volcanic Cyclo Sword for the Poppy. Not my wished item, a Thorn Mail. Nope, Poppy's going more. The inhibitor pops up. This gives the red team a bit of a break after everything that's been happening this game. Ashe just tries to walk up there. I don't know if that would be really the wisest choice you could ever do. Warwick's looking for the push. Blue team do need to find a push at some point. Ashe has to flash that ult away. Gets on top of the Malphite. Malphite is dropping pretty good here. He is full AP though. There comes Vex there. Gets the pick off on that one. Death Realm is being thrown out as well. A lot of damage getting put on top of that one. That's an exploding Warwick. Now Mordekaiser goes down as well. Yo tries to get on top of everything, but he's dropping pretty low there. Explodes as well. And this is now an opportunity for this red team to do something about it. We got only the support and the bot later alive, but that is the turret gone. So the Nexus is exposed. Let's see if the Smolder is going to turn around here. Poppy needs help, so Smolder is going to turn around here to come in there. Smolder did pick up the Chainsword. I can actually explain what my thought process is behind that item pickup. I wanted something that gives grievous wounds on the enemy. Problem is, I already picked up the Lord Dominic's to get through the Mordekaiser, but I need like grievous wounds for the Warwick and the Yone and the Ashe. So, and honestly the Mordekaiser now as well. So it's kind of like a big whammy there. You just kind of want to pick that up. The problem is you already picked one item up, so I went for the Chainsword because I thought that would be good haste item as well. EPs are coming in. This will going to be the interesting spot about this one. This fight could make or break the game. Yorick is coming in with a TP, so there could be an opportunity to play around this one completely here. Warwick is caught in a bad spot right now. He's alone right now. He gets on top of that one. It's immediately blown up. That's really where you don't want to see your jungler be in. I don't know why he was there, but he was there, and that's going to cost them the Drake and the Soul. Chemtech Soul for the red team, and a lot going on here. Jonas dropping pretty low, but he just managed to move out of dodge. The one more big fight I would say right now for the red team, and they can turn this one completely around. You can see red has a slight lead, but honestly, 1,000 something gold is nothing right now. Execute on top of that one. Smolder is in a bad spot right now, takes quite a bit of damage. Actually, he's in a good spot there. It's now the secret arm guard used for the Morty. He goes down. And right now, the red team are pushing in. The Nexus is going down right now. Getting on top of that one. One goes down. Not the Nexus, the inhibitor turret. The inhibitor goes down as well. Now the Nexus turrets are next on the board here. Warwick comes back into the play right now, looking for a jump probably on that one. Ashe is just in no man's land, gets blown up immediately. Vex gets on top of the Lux. Lux is dropping pretty low there, managed to flash away there just to get to safety. There, gets put into the cage and taken out. Warwick tries to get on top of the Malphite, has no opportunity there, gets blown up still. Does get the pick up on the Malphite, but what does it really matter when your whole team is dead and they're sitting in front of your Nexus? Nexus turrets are falling. Yone is right now the lone survivor trying to do something about that one, but it doesn't really look that much going to come around there. Ult comes in there. However, it doesn't matter because the Nexus falls, and GG, the red team win 45-43, and I get plus 17 LP. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye and good night.